Madison Cawthorn has been having a rough one. He was caught in a cross-dressing scandal. He went to a party where he was dressed as a woman. Now, by the way, that on itself, it's not a scandal. It's not a problem. He could dress however he wants to dress. The issue is the hypocrisy that he judges and goes after the LGBTQ community and, wags his finger at them and acts like it's degenerate, deviant behavior. And then, of course, he, in his free time, is dressing up as a woman. So that was one scandal. Now, remember, that was leaked after he very famously said, a lot of these politicians here do cocaine. They have orgies. I've been invited to those orgies. So some powerful people did not like that he said that, and now they're striking back. So that was the first scandal. Now there's since been another scandal. The scandal is that he and a male staffer of him have been getting a little cozy, to say the least. Namely, there's a picture of, it's either Madison Cawthorn's hand on this dude's junk, or it's that dude's hand on Madison Cawthorn's junk. I don't remember which it was. But somebody was touching a meat stick. And then there's also, I don't know if this part is verified, but there appeared to be some back and forth on some payment app where they were talking about, like, remember when we did this in the airport bathroom? Remember when we did that? Yummy. There's some of that stuff going on. Now, that part, I don't know. I guess it's open to interpretation whether or not you think they're being literal or whether or not they're messing around. But the picture I find not debatable at all. Somebody's touching a meat stick, and you only touch a meat stick if you want to touch a meat stick, if you know what I'm saying. For the love of God, stop saying the word meat stick. Anyway, so he's now responded to this barrage of stories about him in a new ad. Let's take a look.
Career politicians sell out for money. They sell out for power. And they sell out just so the media won't attack them. I have never folded in Washington, and the swamp hates me for it. Right now, RINOS are spending millions of dollars in North Carolina to defeat me. They want someone who will make backroom deals to sell out our values, and someone who will abandon American first principles. I've never folded in Washington, and I never will. I'm Madison Cawthorn, and I approve this message. Because Western North Carolina doesn't need a sellout. We need a fighter.
So in other words, he responds to it by not really addressing it at all, and by just saying, the swamp is attacking me, the establishment's coming for me. Allow me to say this to Madison Cawthorn. None of your actual policies challenge the establishment. In fact, your policies are power-serving. In terms of how he votes, he's a standard Republican. And this is the trick that a lot of Republicans have been using, elected Republicans have been using in modern times, is they use this anti-establishment rhetoric, but then they're power-serving fundamentally in what actually matters, which is their votes. So you could talk all day long about the elites and, the establishment, but if at the end of the day, you're cutting taxes for the rich and deregulating industry and all that stuff, you're not standing up to anybody, And now they've rebranded social conservatism as if it's edgy, and it's like, it's just social conservatism. I would respect it more if they were just honest about it. It's like, yeah, I'm socially conservative, and so those are the policies I support. But they don't do that. It's all like posturing against the establishment. We gotta stick it to big gay. I'm sure he likes sticking it to big gay. But I will say this, though, even though I could see through this easily, it is politically potent. This message is always politically potent because people hate the status quo, they hate the establishment, and anybody who postures against it, there is, from people who don't follow the ins and outs of this stuff, to just watch it and be like, yeah! So it is politically potent, it is a good response, even though he's not addressing any of it. But again, the main point here is, it's not that it's a problem that he's, grabbing on some purple-headed yogurt slingers or getting his grabbed, and he's not a problem, he's cross-dressing. This isn't a judgment thing where you wag your finger at him. Again, the issue is the hypocrisy. The issue is you are incredibly socially conservative in your voting record and in your language, but in terms of how you live your life, clearly you feel a different way. Now, I was debating this recently with somebody, but I argued, and you guys tell me what you think, that you're either gay or bi if you're a dude and you're grabbing dicks, or if a dude is grabbing your dick and you like it and there's consent. That definitionally puts you in the category of gay or bi. I mean, I guess you can make the argument of, in rare instances, it's just experimenting, and then maybe a guy finds out, I didn't really like it and I prefer with women or whatever. But I think that's a very tiny percentage. And the overwhelming majority of the time, if you're grabbing dicks or you're getting your dick grabbed by a dude, then you're either gay or bi. Now, maybe he hasn't come to terms with those feelings. Maybe he's not even honest with himself about those feelings. But it struck me like it was pretty obvious based on, you know, the stuff that came out. But you guys tell me, does that definitionally mean it, like I think? Or is it, nah, man? Or could it be, nah, man, they were just joking about all of it? It's one thing to joke about it. It's another thing to be like, you. Do-loo-loo-loo-loo. That's a whole other thing completely, in my opinion. You know, as a straight guy, the number of dicks I've grabbed in my life are 0. The number of times another man, I've consented to have another man grab mine are 0. And I think that's what straight guys, that's their situation. Again, that's not to judge people who do that. By all means, live and let live. It's fine, totally fine. But the hypocrisy is the problem. And I guess, again, final point, I'll just reiterate that the only reason why all this stuff is coming out is because he said, you know, basically there are Republican elected officials who do coke and have orgies. And I said at the time, it's almost certainly true. But I guarantee you Madison Cawthorn wasn't invited to those things. Now I actually am amending my position because based on everything I've seen now with the cross-dressing and the messing around with other dudes, I think he probably was invited. So I actually think the story was true. I think he was being honest about it. And they're trying to cover it up by making it, look, he's crazy, he's a liar. Look at all these other things that went on, see? No, if anything, this made me believe what he said originally more. So, as that famous gif or meme says, let them fight. Like, go ahead, hands off, let Kevin McCarthy and Madison Cawthorn keep going at it. And we'll see what happens. I have no idea if he's going to weather the storm. We're just going to have to wait and find out together. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.